People you have is the enthroned people who will go there and to begin to think of their likes. Development is not achieved by sitting down. Development is not achieved through cautious planning and efforts and to follow. But once we don't put these things up, do not forget the government is coming from the same people. And that is the problem we are having today. Now, what stops government from doing, say for an instance, we have councillors from the world level. These are the government officials, kind of scholarship or maybe a kind of recognition. Okay. By so doing, you are trying to shape the thinking of the people within that world. Then the local government will now say, now, we are going to bring out the policy that will take the minds of the people from the wrongdoing into the right doing by encouraging them into a policy. Maybe you bring a policy that will try to take the people into something that is reasonable for them to actually put in their efforts and achieve something that will better their lives and that is sustainable. When you say, okay, by this time I'm going to have a pool, and in this pool we are going to put in fund there, and this fund will be used to channel, to sponsor people who have business ideas. And all that, we set up a company. They looked at it. The one that is worthy to be invested of this fire approach policies and programs that you will see them, they are bringing just to score cheap political points. We no longer have need in the society. You set up a whatever meeting within the you like Prof said the other time. You bring them together and you don't sit there. All you want to do is to have a media coverage. The media will say, yes, the local government chairman, the so governor has a program for this, and you will not sit there, you will not take opinions, and you have left. Then after which the people return home and continue to run after you and beg because you want to impoverish them for you to gather them maybe for political right people there. The right people will think right things. But if we just give our consent to people, to any kind of person, and it goes there, it will always think about their likes. And the reward system will be the one that will go to the House of Assembly today. You will have repented to say members of militants who are there, who are not actually repented. And you see these are people that will... So this is the problem. Let us sit down and start the development from our mind.
All right. Okay, while you were talking, I was reading on one other story we had in the papers earlier, which was looking at the evolution of the electoral system in Nigeria. And over the years, not much has changed within that system. Not much when you look at electoral laws and what we're empowered to do and what that system can do. It hasn't really done much. But while I was going through that, I just looked at Nigeria in itself and I said, we keep calling ourselves, is it nascent democracy? We've been saying that ever since it came on board.
And it will remain.
A fledgling economy. We have continually played in our minds that we're very young. And I think that this is the reason why we don't grow. We know that we're not growing. And then in order to hide our shame, we say, it's because it's young. It's young. But is it that because we don't know that there's growth, or that we don't understand that we need to grow? I don't know. Is it something that we as a people have failed ourselves? Someone was saying, Annie, we're very quick to condemn the politicians and say, oh, they did this. But the politicians came from us. They're no different from us. We who are sitting behind our desk and making these conversations, when we fall into that line, we can't be any different. These people did not come from the moon. The ones you have in security, they didn't come from the moon. They're Nigerians. So it is the same orientation, the same sort of evaluating systems that they have used or they're using that we also use. They're not very different from us. So as a people, is it that we don't understand growth? That what you learned today is supposed to catapult you to this next level so that you're not repeating the same thing over and over again. That it's a chain of processes that takes you from one point. We look at all other economies and all other democracies and we say, oh, that sort of democracy, it's grown. But they started pretty much from very crude backgrounds like we have now. But we have continually maintained the one we have.
Consistently, I've been having that... and I mentioned it because it's here. Now, see, the electoral system of Nigeria, I think the democracy was The winners are already known. They are predetermined. Is that an election? What brand of democracy can you ascribe to that? So for me,
that sort of election, we had it since where it's mad, predetermined and all of that. With INEC and all that it has been doing. We had it right from the time when it was
NEC and all the rest of them.
Before it became that.
I mean the electoral process?
All the rest of
Yes.
As far back as 1922.
Exactly. That's
1922.
It has always been Emmanuel, it has always been mad.
Good.
They always predetermine who they want.
Yeah.
And then years
of philosophy of meism. In other words, egocentrism. That is what is holding us. Not that we don't know. After all, see, as I am now, I know when I was a youth and when I was a small child. I'm growing now. What will it come into another thing and there won't be growth? No, they all know that there's growth. Some time ago, we were hearing about people that were holding. So for me, I think it's because of selfishness. That is why you see that we cannot make any
So
move.
when we look at Nigeria as a whole, we'll say, look, we're a selfish lot.
Yes, those leadership is very
like I
selfish.
said, the leadership came
Yes.
from us, so maybe we should just all
No,
through
the
the left.
leadership came from us, but they have
So that because we're a selfish
they have a
lot.
wing above us. Once they move.
Okay, let me get. Why are we still here? Why don't we understand growth?
Yeah.
Growth in every aspect. I'm looking at the electoral processes. I mean, nothing. I'm not seeing improvements.
Yeah. First and foremost, it's because of our narrow-minded nature. We are crude and narrow. The leadership is there. The people are also part of the problem. But let me, Emmanuel, before you go, let me point out that Nigeria is not a democratic state.
All right.
We have, if you say what nature of election do we conduct, we do civilian election. We are civilized, okay, to civilian. Because when you speak of democracy, it presupposes so many criteria, so many elements. So when those elements are not part and parcel of what we do, we cannot welcome and say we are doing a democracy or it's a democratic system of government. It is not. Because just not having periodic election, it must be free and fair, there must be equality, there must be rule of law, and so many elements. These things are lacking. Now, we are where we are because we are crude, we are narrow-minded, we have allowed the will of the few to override the objective reality of the majority. So when the greater number of, the few number of persons that occupy office try to manipulate, that is why we're talking of value system. Our orientation is so narrow that we do not know what we want. Now, if Nigerians wake up, the ordinary citizens say, look, this process must be proper and must be genuine. In some states, in some local governments and some wards, where you see people who know their rights and wake up to that right, they have always achieved it. But you see, because those who are in power will perpetually do the things they want to do to, manipulate the society and manipulate the processes. So the institutions are weak because those who occupy them want to keep them weak to enable them manipulate they come and say, look, you cannot be councillor, you cannot be chairman, you cannot be governor. And then begin to mobilize the masses and begin to group people to see that narrow-minded nature of the few individuals who have the wherewithal, who have the monopoly of power, the custodian of authority to manipulate the people. But because our value system is so narrow, these people now come with peanuts, organize you, lobby you, pay you money, and then do all kind of things. Now you say your conscience, you say your vote, and when you now give out votes for a pot of rice, now you come back and you begin to complain. What are you complaining? So this is the problem. It is not that we do not know that we know what to do. When we use the word fledgling economy, nascent democracy, we know we are at fault. But there are, if you read Marx very well, you will understand in most of his books. If you read Anarchy, Syndicalism, Critical Criticism, you will understand some of these principles. Continued political economy. These were books written by Marx. You see why society has failed, and you begin to realize why the few will continually manipulate in the authority, and that authority will definitely be dissolved.
That's what I'm saying. The leaders, they understand that the ignorance is what has fueled this, and they ensure that ignorance remains.
Yes.
All right. We got your thoughts on that. We'll take a break. The news update comes up next. When we return, I'll have Dr. CJ Chinwo and Emi Fiahaga.
For our news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
News update.
Hello and good morning. Here's the news update on Today 95.1 FM. I am Annie Abdul Salam. University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital UPTH has said they will not join the nationwide strike as declared by the national body. President of resident doctors at UPTH, Samuel Ame, while addressing newsmen in Port Harcourt, said the decision was in the best interest of residents of the state. He added that the leadership of NMA is working with the federal government on modalities to meet the demands. President of the resident doctors of the University of Port Harcourt Teaching Hospital, Samuel Ame, while addressing newsmen, said the decision was in the best interest of residents of the state, adding that the leadership of NMA is working with the federal government on modalities to meet the demands. Governor Nyesom Wike has sacked the managing director of the River State Microfinance Agency, Palibo Sogirls. Commissioner for Information and Communications, Paulinus Interim, said Sogirls was sacked for alleged fraud. According to Interim, other senior officials dismissed by Governor Wike for the same alleged offense are the head of SMEs, Nimi Hari, head of Finance and Accounts, Ukule Okoroji, and the internal auditor, Sofiri Koko. The statement adds that the other heads of departments of the River State Microfinance Agency are to be arrested for further investigation. The senator representing Lagos East Senatorial District, Bayo Osinowo, is dead. The lawmaker, popularly known as Peperito, passed on Monday morning. Reports that the senator has been suffering high blood pressure for years and is not yet confirmed if the Lagos senator died of COVID-19. The federal government has suspended the private jet airline Executive Jet Services for violating aviation rules. The airline had flown Nigerian artist Naira Marley to Abuja from Lagos to hold a concert against the rules of the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika, who announced the suspension in Abuja, said the Aviation Ministry had approved the jet to convey a judge who was on an essential duty but was surprised that the jet was used to convey a musician. He also added that the pilot of the aircraft will be sanctioned. On the foreign scene, the Democratic Republic of Congo has recorded 17 new cases of Ebola in the western province of Equateur. Health officials said out of the 17 cases recorded, 11 of those also combated a measles epidemic that had killed more than 6,000 people, and COVID-19, which has infected about 4,800 and killed 112. A daily report by the National Institute of Biomedical Research had shown that there are 14 confirmed Ebola cases and 3 suspected cases since a cluster of infections were confirmed in the city of Mdanka on June 1st. The World Health Organization said more than 2,500 people have been vaccinated across the province to help control an Ebola outbreak that has killed more than 2,200 since 2018. Offices to prevent the spread of coronavirus. I am Annie Abdusalam. To have a good morning.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Today is here. Yesterday is gone and unrecoverable. Tomorrow, you don't know what it holds, right? You have today. Yes, you heard me. You have today. The indisputable truth is that today is pregnant with both good and bad. You have freely been given today as a gift to see what you will make out of it. Permit me to be positive. Permit me to sideline the negative and magnify the good. Permit me to espouse on today. Today is great. Today is wonderful. Today is targetable and targets can be achieved. Today is domineering and you can be dominant. Today is a conqueror and goals can be conquered. Today is challenging and you can challenge yourself for the better. Today is cheerful. You can choose to be happy. Just in case you're sulking, saddened and feeling sorry for yourself. Enough of the wallow in self everywhere. Just be sensitive. Build on yourself and get ready for the opportunity. Be the best you can be today, because I see the sun smiling on you. This message is powered by Today
95.1 FM.
Voice of the people.
Wake up to today's quest.
Wake up.
All the news and information you need in one go. Get started with the best of sports, lifestyle, analysis, and Annie.
Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
Can you feel it? Wake up to today's quest. Fantastic.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we're talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues raised.
Port Harcourt says the PDP is trying to divert our attention because her tenure has expired. Annie, please tell him that investigation is not what you make public until the final stage.
Send your opinion to us on
Today95.1 FM.
or on Twitter at TodayFM951. You can also sample your opinions with us on WhatsApp or on our SMS portal using the numbers 070-1933-9962. All right, it's 10 minutes after 10, and you're still listening to Today 95.1 FM. We'll continue real quickly and wrap up on this before real talk. Emmy Fairhagen, and let's get your thought. What's holding us back? Why is it that we're not growing? I mean, electoral system, any system you look at, what's holding us from growing? Why do we keep calling ourselves a fledgling economy?
For me, I would say that it's a lack of will. The required way to liberate ourselves from the wrong value orientation that is built on a very wrong mindset, one, and from the mistakes of 1999, no thanks to the citadel of knowledge. If our mind is not properly set and right, there is no way we will bring out the right character for development. A corrupt tree will not bear good fruits. But once the tree is good, it will bring forth good fruits also. That is why we are still where we are from one perspective. Until we begin to say, like I said earlier, we sit down and say, enough is enough. It is time to correct the wrongs. And in correcting these wrongs, we must begin from ourselves as individual and as a nation. And by so doing also, we try to get people that are not supposed to be in public position out. Because by themselves, we will see that their characters are not worthy. They know they are not supposed to be there. But they are there because there is a wrong value system that have a very faulty reward system. Then 1999 mistake is also hurting us, that we are not actually demonstrated the will to also correct it. Earlier I said no thanks to the citadel of knowledge. In 1999, when the military were thinking about handing over to the civilian people, those who have the right knowledge, the right thinking and all that, thought that the military were joking. Out of fear, they refused to participate fully. They said they will not hand over. It's part of those things. So people who are of questionable character find themselves into the system. And since then, they have hijacked the system and holding on to it tenaciously to ensure that there is no new entry. If you are of a right thinking today, they see you as a threat. If you are somebody who is asking questions, they see you as a threat. If you are somebody who is bringing us suggestions or right ideas that will liberate the states into and put us on the path of development, they see you as an enemy. And these people will continue to perpetuate themselves in power and holding on to the system to ensure that the system remain in this level for them to continually to amass wealth for themselves. But if we are so determined and we are ready to demonstrate that character of liberation, we will say to them, whether the electoral system or the electoral act or whatever is not signed, or we have a faulty electoral system, we will say to them, brother, sister, we know you that you are not supposed to be a head of a community, not even a head of your family. So whatever thing you were coming with, we are going to stop you here. Thank God Jega introduced a system where the ballots, the votes are being counted at the polling unit. We will count them and ensure that you will not be there. Whether you are from my family, you are from my religion, or you are from my tribe. You are not going there because your character is not worthy to hold a public position. There was a 1 year, I think in 2015 or before then, when I was working with INEC. I was posted to a community. In that community, we saw the politicians came on the day of voting. One came with chicken laps. Many of them, while some with coats, some beers and all that.
You've got to eat while you're working.
To share to voters. So if you vote, you collect one of the chicken lap and you collect 500 naira to buy banga and other thing that you wish to cook it. Then a bottle of beer for you. If you are a man, then a malt for you. That was what they were giving to. And voters were happily collecting it and say, come and vote for that person and collect your own. I was so pissed off to the point that I forgot that I was working with the INEC. I went to the people and talking to them. Do you know that you are selling your future now? Do you know this thing you are collecting will not sustain you more than a day? And tomorrow you will shout, hey, there is no road. Today I have no work. I do this, and you are the one causing it now. I have problem with some of my colleagues who were so angry with me that no, I should do that. We'll collect our own too. It's all about collecting and we leave. I say this is why we are still where we are. So if we are so determined today to say enough is enough, and we demonstrate the right mind, these people will not be there. We will enthrope people who will not see that we need to correct our electoral system, and they will give us laws that will enthrone good leadership, good governance, and development. Until we do this, we will continue to run around one spot.
Got your thoughts on that too? Got your thoughts on that? Let me get to Dr. C.J. Chungo.
Well, I think the basic problem I've found about this is that we're people who hate debts, who have no debts. And I viewed it from different perspectives. Sometimes when I watch the television, I see houses built in Europe, 12 something, 10 something, 13 something, and they're still surviving till today. We don't have that in our architecture, so architecture has no depth. When I read some books in the academic field, say my own field of law, written by people in UK, US, you see depth of reasoning. We don't have it here. I see journals where people write 50 pages, 70 page journals, peer-reviewed journals. Here they will tell you if you write more than 20,000 words, right? It is not accepted. Too much. It's too much. So how can you compete?
We can't read that much, please.
We can't read that much. Look, when do you know that when Guardian came out in this country in 1983, some Nigeria hated it.
Yeah, because it was very lengthy.
You're writing too much. But these are the best brains in journalism, writing for us to be like. We didn't like that. Until today.
But that's a long time. I remember. I don't know when it came out, but
I remember because I was the first I started buying.
So if it came out at that time and at 83 you were already offended that it was too lengthy, that means this rot has been.
No, that's what I'm looking. I'm not looking at today. What you're seeing today is nothing. The only thing I think about today is that tomorrow it shows what will be tomorrow. Do you understand? So people don't want to sit down. I used to be in a professional organization, and serious issues are coming up. Your colleagues are, leave that, you are talking too much. A friend of mine who was the secretary of my association in this state, he became a commissioner. I don't want to go to this, it's not so obvious.
Yeah.
He was a secretary of organization. He told me, he used to tell me, CJ, forget this country. And I thought he's a well-traveled person, so I used to think he was just joking. He said, as secretary, he will paste a notice on the board, professionals. And there's all this, about what you write there now. He said, go and read it. They won't read. There's no time we have time to read that. It's writing too much. So, a people without debts, if you go to our farming, I keep saying it, that this is one country where if our forefathers who left us 500 years ago could return today to join us in farm, they don't have to learn anything. They won't learn anything. They'll just continue the same farming. But you don't do that in the United States. Other nations are serious. Why couldn't we mine? If we say Igbo man go now, look, and all our natural resources will remain there forever. Why can't we mine? Why are those things there for? Because we don't look beyond what we are seeing now. Cash crops don't survive in Nigeria anymore, because one day you just plant now, tomorrow you uproot and you go. So that's why when oil came, we said this is what we have been looking for. Just sell it.
Get your money.
Invest it on what will last. No, that will not help us. So you see, this has gone through all the way we do. In our politics, there's no debt. The Nigerians are making the leaders. As a matter of fact, if you are even come now and say you're thinking of debt, you are even committing political suicide. So why don't we make road for them?
Be as shallow as possible.
And that when you're making that road, don't make it too thick. Because in spending that, you spend much time. That road, you have done it in 6 months. You're not telling us you do it in 2 years because or 1 year, because that's what is required. No, we don't want. And of being shallow in everything. Our religion is shallow, which is why Emma is angry with them. Our religion is shallow. Our democracy, like you said, there is democracy, but the reason why it's like this is that there's so much shallowness. Our intellectuals, political scientists, and all that, we have professors of them, those things, have not sat down to say, this is a people. Where are we coming from? How do we apply democracy? Democracy is resulted from Africa. I tell people, when you hear someone will tell you democracy is from Athens. No, it is in our communities that we sit down and everybody will make contribution. Everybody will agree, and then when decisions are taken, they know all of us own that decision. But suddenly we left it because our intellectuals couldn't internalize and intellectualize what we do here. Everything we are doing, no explanation. All this, we all went to Madagascar to import herbs and all that. See, those herbs are here, but what comes as our intellectuals have never put anything down. It is not that everybody is saying, give us money, we'll do research. So we don't have debts. And if you don't have debts, the limit for sustainable growth is very much limited. Just like building now. That secretariat now, throughout the history of Rivers State, we have never dug any foundation as deep as what we have in the secretariat to raise those buildings. But why haven't we built it again with all these shoutings by governors? Because it is too deep. We don't want to go that far. See, the university I attended, the River State University, I was teaching there, you still have some hostels like cabins. And yet we have a series of government. Why can't you improve on that place? No, that will take us time. Let us do it now. And we, the people, are encouraging it.
Yeah.
Governor did, this one did. So he wants to do something to receive clap. So we must have a different orientation and begin to believe that there must be a proper foundation before we raise the structure, and then we'll get it as high as we want. Otherwise, we'll continue like this. Sometimes I have stopped blaming the politicians because they came from among us and they are responding to what they are saying. You go to your community now, you want to campaign and you're telling people of things that are sustainable. Now you go chop, now grandma will go chop, now book will go chop. Students are telling lecturers, now book will go chop. One of these, the time we were traveling for a professional conference, I had my children going with me, and I told them that my colleagues you embarrassed me. I gave these 2 boys, I said, these are the books you will read while we are going. When we get there, you show me how much I'm reading my own. And my colleagues were telling story from here to Makodi. Story of all kinds. See this tree that pass. See this politician. See that. These boys couldn't read. And I told them, I said, I was like that, like the odd person out.
Because you were the only one reading.
Yeah, for the children, it's like, Daddy, this thing you're saying, we can't find it here. It's like, you should say it's your own gift. You understand? Yeah. We're talking about debt. It was one young man with us. I say, read, until he traveled to London. He said, sir, that he told us is true. Immediately he entered train. He said, white man start reading. Old woman, young person, the woman entered train, plane, they're reading. I said, that's what I told you. How then do you want to compete with them? They are still reading today. This one say, everybody's smartphone. They are still writing books. So they wrote a book on Donald Trump. 500,000 copies were sold in one day. And today, you write a book. If you want to realize the money, you have to do a launch.
You have to do a launch.
And the person who came for the launch and gave you 100,000 will not read that book. Even if you wrote about him. A friend of mine told me a case of, he wrote something about somebody and thought that would mean he meets this person. He's in trouble. Because a publication. Nobody, the man didn't even talk about it.
Because he didn't read
He
it.
didn't read it. Some of these things you read, there is the only way Nigerians read. Because that kind of article, they say it's too long now. How can I read that article of 5 columns covering 1 page? Forget it, it's too. Just put the executive summary. People like that cannot succeed. We must have a people of depth, and in everything we do, it will make a difference. The reason why religious people can kill each other because there's no depth.
There's no depth.
No depth now.
It's not depth.
Something that happened in Denmark. The people in Malaysia who are, Indonesia, 100% Muslim, didn't fight. We kill ourselves here.
In Kano.
In Kano. And all kinds of situations we're having. Christianity, Islam, our traditional religion has no depth. That's why also nobody has analyzed it to even say, are we right or wrong? Because there's no depth. Just finish, pour the libation and go.
Just pour the libation and go. You see, I can see the link around everybody's comment, and obviously it is because of pervasive ignorance, no depth, no education. But then, who is in charge of educating the people? Because are we not supposed to have? Is that not what the NOA is supposed to do? National Orientation Agency, I guess, along policies and other things. But then, I've always said here, you go to a local government perhaps and you're canvassing for House of Reps. And while you're there saying, vote for me for House of Reps, you need to tell the people that you bring a road to their market square. You need to tell them that you're going to bring a transformer to 6 communities. You need to tell them that you sink boreholes all over. This is what you need to convince them on. And you are to be a House of Reps member. They're not concerned about the kind of life you lived and therefore the policies that you might be in tune with pursuing. They're not interested in asking you questions. What do you think about early education, early marriage? What do you think about child slavery? What's your position on this? To understand why. So the people who are even voting you into place don't even know your roles and don't understand why you need to be the one to occupy that place or not. And they don't even understand how policies are supposed to change their life from this moment till the next 4 years. They don't get it. So you have the same people who will just look for chicken lap, like you mentioned, and a can of beer, and will do the same thing now. We're talking about it here now, but believe me, it's the same thing we'll see in 2023. Because nobody is educating. Nobody is saying we need to have this change. The people in government right now who are, as Emmanuel said, egocentric and really don't want to leave that spot. I'm not going to tell them anyway, okay, sensitize the people along these lines. They need to know who and what and how that they will do this voting. The only time NOA will come up is a few days to the elections to tell us, okay, look for the box, put your style, make sure it's like this. Nothing, like he said, nothing with depth. It's just going to be superficial again. We'll go through that and then we'll wait for the next 4 years and do the same thing. Meanwhile, everything else is decaying and breaking under us because we don't understand what we need to do. Emmanuel, sorry, I knew you were trying to say something.
Yes.
But let me give the time.
You see, what I want to say is in relation to what Emi said, that maybe the intellectuals did not participate massively in 1999 when what they tout as democracy came back. See, you remember Professor Femini was here some time ago and said that whether in Sapele or wherever, that he was either the electoral officer and that Olufalaye won Chief Obasanjo in that particular polling unit. And that when the military came there, they removed everything and that he was the electoral officer. And as he submitted the whole thing, they now cancelled it and then gave the winning tally to Chief Obasanjo. Now, Amy said that the people, the intellectuals were afraid they couldn't participate because they regarded it as a normal thing. No, they won't hand over. Did they hand over? They didn't hand over because it was themselves, the military, that picked Chief Obasanjo, even from prison, and installed him. He represented them. And that is why things have continued in that same way. If, for instance, Olufalaye, let's even say, a civilian to the court was picked and then put there, you now see other, even the intellectuals, all of them will come. So the fears of the intellectuals were very much grounded. The military continued their rule, maybe through proxy, on Chief Obasanjo.
I think that thing didn't happen all over Nigeria now. It only happened in certain areas.
No, I'm talking about
yes,
the central government. Finally, what happened?
Yes, I think there was a time one of my ask me a question than today. If federal government is to provide me a job opportunity between Chevron and NOA, which of them will I prefer to work with? I said I will choose NOA. He said, why?
Why? Why would you go with Chevron?
He said, why? He said, the money that will come and all that. I said, yes, you think money, but I think my society. I think my state. Because I have that are wrong. We have been chanting development. We have been crying and craving for it. But I have seen that in all of this, like Barrister said, your data, we don't actually know what we want. Honesty, truth is part of development. Once you don't have the right information and the right information is not passed to the people, there is no way you will leave the spot you are and trying to know what to do on the other side. I said that is the reason I will work with the National Orientation Agency. For me to be able to correct certain narratives that are actually keeping us in bondage. Because if you continue to perpetuate lies and think that you will grow on that lie, you will not grow. A religious book says, ye shall know the truth, and it is the truth that will set you free. So if we are not being truthful to ourselves and not being honest to ourselves, we will still continue in this quagmire.
You see, but you've got to understand the difference. I'm not going to be honest if I don't understand that what I'm doing at this point in time is not me being honest. I just think, well, this is what we do.
Yes, the honesty I'm talking about is, it begins from us. Do you really want road? Then you should vote correctly. Do you want that health system to work? Then you should not be the one who will collect chicken lap. And at the end of the day, you will say, leave it, and you will come and say, hey, there is no road, there is no that. You are not truthful to yourself. If you are truthful, you will make certain sacrifices. If somebody gives you 2,000 naira to vote, and you know the person has questionable character, the person is actually buying your vote and don't want to do anything, you will make that sacrifice based on the foundation of the truth that you are trying to drive. You want development, so you must be truthful to yourself first. If you look around, we discover many Nigerians, we are not truthful to ourselves. We are not honest. We only shout for development, and we are not truthful that we actually want that. Our action does not portray that we want that development.
I will cut them some slack a bit. You have people who have been beaten to almost the point where they will sacrifice anything just to keep moving. And then now you want them to make honest judgments. I think it will be rather difficult. I'm trying to see myself in the position of some of them,
yes.
And why for them it was okay to just grab the chicken and go.
Simple.
These are
Yes.
I know.
The one
You
you
and
eat is the one
you
you
and
die
I know that.
Yes.
You and I know that. But I'm imagining that some of them don't even understand that this is what sacrifice is. And even if that were sacrifice, they're not in that position at that time to want to take that step. They're in a situation where, look, this is what it is. I need to feed now. I need to deal with this now. If this is what I'm going to get, fine. I will sacrifice that for what they say it will be a better healthcare system here. I'm going to sacrifice that for a better primary school that was supposed to open for my kids. I will do all of that because, look, I need to survive immediately here and I can't think beyond that. There are groups of people who have found themselves in that, and you can't blame them for thinking that way because we already have a system that has existed for so long and pushed people into that block.
Yes, I am from oil producing.
And we have not done
community.
anything to re-educate these people. See, it is not something that we just say, look, sacrifice, and people start sacrificing. It needs a lot of work. You need to re-educate them. It's not a one-day thing.
Yes, I understand. That is why I say I will work with the NOA. I'm from oil community.
Please work with the NOA. You can do
situation-
that pro bono. After all, you are doing that already. You are an
Literacy,
adolescent, an adult literacy volunteer. Add NOA volunteer inside it.
Wait, I know I will not even accept it because they are thinking in terms of money.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they know people like Amy who are there, but they won't accept him. They don't think in terms of money.
You see, anyway, does not come out with his own policy or whatever, but they are following government dictation. Simple.
That is it now. You know,
Do
when
you understand?
Who approved for you to say that?
when doctor talked of depthness is key because it's linked to everything. If you are not thorough, you can't be depth. A thorough person will want to understand in details what is happening. If you are not honest, you can't be depth because you want a shortcut. You know, you live on that ignorance, pretend to be on it, and then all you're thinking is how to achieve something very shortly.
Very shortly, yeah.
No matter how it affects our children. If I tell you what we face, I tell my my children. No, have that. We have that. All of them have that problem. Many of them, if you see what they do, they can't read. Throughout this holiday, you go and buy books and keep. Nobody's willing to read.
Nobody's interested.
They want to watch film.
Yeah.
They want to do every other thing. Now,
Play games.
wash your clothes very well, iron it properly. Nobody's ready to do that. You talk from morning till night. They want to sag.
Yeah.
Put their trousers here, and then they are thinking of. I was asking my son the other day. I said, if you have money now, what will you do with it? Everything you have is that you want to have your own personal money. If you have it now, what are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with the money? You have food, you have everything, you are living, your school fees is being paid. Why are you thinking of money? My father told me when I was going to use service that if I drive a car back to this house, that he would chase me away. I didn't understand the meaning of that. He said I have a lot of time to think of how to get money because he will know that my salary is not what I used to buy this car, that I must have stolen. That I should go do my use service, finish, and think of a job. It's late today, but those ideas are running in me. Because if you go to use service, you are paid a stipend. Where will you get the money? Except you go and steal on the join bad gang. So the first thing with that orientation is that you can't join bad group because that is where the money will come. Or if you are working, you'll be honest. So we are not debt. We are not thorough. We want to perpetuate the ignorance. The leaders leverage on it and continually punish us.
The ignorance is so pervasive, it's so deep that it's frightening. We see that, okay, we lost the plot a long time, but the way we keep dropping down, you look at youths of today, and like we said, the depth is not just there at all. Someone was saying, this guy that the FBI arrested, Hush Puppy, and we saw the reaction of so many youths on social media reacting to the issue of this flamboyant man who has been nabbed by FBI, assumed on charges of financial fraud. And the person was saying, look, these same people who are all over the whole place talking about Hush Puppy now, if you ask them about Ken Saro-Wiwa, they probably don't even know who that is. And if they did know what he was, would probably not have the same passion to follow up with his issues the same way you're all over because all they're interested in is his money and flamboyant lifestyle and all. We hadn't finished that conversation until somebody was also told me that, he had a bashing somewhere else when I can't remember which state in up north now flagged off the tree planting stuff. And then they were saying, is that what they needed? The youths were agitating over that what they need was money for skill acquisition. You need to empower us. What are we planting trees for? And the amount of money budgeted for the trees was too much. And they didn't understand the reason why it was important. It was part of the reasons you have the farmers and headers issue. It's part of the reasons why you have the desertification encroachment that is going on. It's part of the reasons why climate change is there's so many things that planting the trees would, but they didn't understand that because no depth. And I don't know who failed these children this terribly. Who is it? Federal government? Is it parents? How did they fail that much?
It's a holistic thing, from the family to the schools.
In fact, I can't imagine these people in government, this group of people I see now. I can't imagine them in government. I can't.
No, it will be terrible. Tomorrow. Because do you know that when you're a student and the lecturer brings a book, most of the students don't open that book. They buy them not because they want to read them. They buy them because it is compulsory.
I don't buy it.
Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Write my name on board.
Yeah, you must put your name because it's compulsory. Yeah. Because it's compulsory. They are not buying those books because they want to open the books. They want to buy them because if you don't buy, you may likely fail. So after buying the books, you begin to look for other little notes or how you can copy. So some good lecturer will tell you, look, if you have books, but whether you like it, no tag. I think I can give credit. He taught me. I know he did that to us. He said, look, I have books, but there was no attachment. I mean, to Dr. Chiwon himself, no attachment to those books. He taught us the evidence. And then, you have that orientation. The books, you walk to the office, say, which one do you want? You buy. Buy anywhere you want to buy. Not a course rep who will come with a book and say, write my name. If you don't pay, and then your name reflected, on the
On the
list,
seat,
you
on the
may even,
chair.
no matter how good you are as a student, you cannot make it. I don't want to mention, we experienced all that while we were in the university. So how will a child who has grown under that condition now take that outside the university and then take it to the various local governments? How many institutions that former predecessors built? I was talking to my friend and said, why can't local governments embark into agriculture? We used to have in our place oil mill at Omatoro and Egui. Those things are dead. Nobody's revitalizing them. And now all you do is that you wait for federal allocation at the end of the month. Once it comes, what do you do with it? You squander the money. But people, and look at reason palm. A local government can acquire,
take that,
begin to impact on planting of palm trees, and then open up the oil mill, make use of what to call a sectoral linkage, use the raw material to make use of the end product, and then see how you can develop and then build a lasting economic system for the people. But what are they thinking? How to get monthly allocation, then manipulate the people to get into the system again, and then this decadence is continuous.
Where am I advancing from here? So local government chairman, let me be eyeing something else.
House of Reps.
House of Reps. House of Reps. So they are hobnobbing along that line.
It's a serious issue. So we need to have a reorientation from the family, in the church. Like when I talked about the church, I know criticizing churches. How many of them are preaching the real ideas? They go there and tell you to dip your hand. I know a church, they'll say, bring out everything in your pocket, raise it up, and then put it on that tray. That is the preaching. How many times have you given? Now nobody's telling you what society is. That this a church should be an element, a unit to reorienting people.
You don't and then bring out everything people in your pocket.
No, now the host had told me that when I attended the church, it's late now. In Benin, he said, put your hand deep, bring out everything. We didn't know what he was doing. He said, take it up, raise it very high. The next thing they will say, put it on that. God will bless you. Those who donate highly will also receive very highly. And that has reflected.
It's true. Give.
The intention.
And
it was my worry. Yes, it's the intention.
It's the intention, I guess.
Yes,
it's
wrong intention.
I once belonged to a socio-political group advancing brightness and development of society. And the position I had was very, very sensitive. So we are delegated to visit some of these multinationals and some other corporate organizations around. We got there. We entertained. What we made, with the requests we made, we're given the information, we sold them and all that. As we're about to leave, they have to wet our pocket, and they gave us some positions and other licenses to take back to communities and all that. But we drove to somewhere. The leader said, let us branch. We branch. He said, now, you will take this one. You will take this one. You will take this one. And they gave me some money. I pushed the money. I said, wait, I want to ask a question. Thank you for giving me this one, but let me ask a question. Why are we sharing this one? Are we the communities? He said, this is our own. Is it not what we are supposed to get? We went there to advocate and we collect our own and all that. I said, that's good, but let me ask a question again. What did we tell the people that we are going there to do? We went there that we are fighting for them, that there was wrong. The former people were doing wrong. And these companies were doing wrong. Now we have been giving it, now we are sharing it again. Why don't we take this thing to the community and tell them that, please, give us this and beg from them, give us this and this and this from them. I think they will be reasonable enough to give us some. Why are we sharing them here? And we tell them that, next time we will come. I say, you see, we are not, that is why I say we are not honest.
Emifiahaga is not from us.
We continue to do things.
Emifiahaga is not from us.
These are not government. These are not government officials, but members of the community who are saying our community is impoverished, people who are saying we don't have water, people who are saying, oh, they are oppressing us. But if you give them that little opportunity, you will see what they are going to do. Are we sincere? Are we honest to ourselves? Do we really want the development?
Right.
Are we ready to liberate ourselves and embark on the path of development?
Liberate yourself from mental slavery. Thank you so much. It's 42 minutes after the hour of 10, and from people like